Hey everyone, welcome back to Mission Human Excellence. This is episode 5, and today we're going to talk about the mindset of excellence. In order for us to talk about that, we're going to go into the Bible, Philippians, and we're going to talk about Philippians 4:8. So I'm going to read it to y'all real quick. So this is written by Paul. Paul, at the time, he is in prison, and Philippians is one of the happiest books in the Bible, and it's written by a guy in prison. So there's gotta be something that we are missing. So let's read Philippians 4:8. Let's see what he talks about, and let's break it down later. Um, and then we're gonna talk about how you can change your mindset by doing some three simple little step exercise that I used to do, that I still do every single day, all the time, to make sure my mind stays right. So we'll dive into all that. But first, Philippians 4:8. It says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, and whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." And we're going to talk about mindset of excellence. I don't know about you, but I think the mindset of excellence is exactly what Philippians 4:8 talks about, right? Whatever is true, whatever is praiseworthy, whatever is right. That's the things we think about. So there's so many ways that we can define excellence in a worldly perspective. There's so many ways to do it. But in the Bible, it says whatever is excellent and praiseworthy. What is praiseworthy? What is worthy of all the praises? There's only one thing worthy of all praises. That is God. That is Jesus. Right? So if we want to think about things that are praiseworthy, that means we got to think about Jesus, what he has done for us, and the things that he did when he was in his ministry, and exemplified those things. So, excellence. So that's excellence. So that's the mindset of excellence. How do we achieve it? How do we get to it? How do we do the things that help us to think excellence? Well, according to this verse, right, it says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, and praiseworthy. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought of things that are impure? Have you ever thought of things that are wrong, that are not lovely, that are not admirable? I mean, I have, right? If I have, if I watch a Marvel movie, for example, if I watch a Marvel movie and I see Thor or I see Captain America and their arms are just humongous, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym, work on my arms. Doesn't matter how much it hurts. I'm gonna go work on my arms so I can get their arms, right? I want their arms. Or if I see a Christopher Nolan movie, I'm a movie buff. I'm a movie. I just like Christopher Nolan's movie and I analyze it. And whenever I see his movie, I'm like, okay, so how is he telling the story? Um, how is he messing with timeline inside his movie? The concept of time, and I dive into these things, and I start thinking about those things, and it distracts me from what I need to finish because that's all I have in my mind, right? Or it's even worse. Here's one of the things that's really, really, really that I realized lately that really just been a struggle for me is the conversation I have with people, right? Now, conversations that you have with people, they tend to stay with you for a bit. Sometimes a couple of days, sometimes a long time, depending how impactful the conversation is. But I know if I talk about girls, I'll be thinking about girls. But if I talk about goals, I'll be thinking about goals. So the conversations that we have with other people, that is so powerful. That is going to leave you a lasting thought on what you're thinking about. And that could lead you to excellence or the complete opposite of excellence. You might think about lustful thoughts after that. You might think about some bad things after that. You might think about some horrible, not right things, not right thoughts. So the conversation you have with other people is so important. And so interesting that can stay in your head and make an impact on certain things. So I also wanted to tell you, yes, we talk about how all the inputs, there's so much inputs in our life right now with the internet, with things, information right on the tip of our fingers. There's so many inputs that we have. I want you to know that every single little thing that's in your life that's giving you the input, every single little thing that's giving you the input is connected and is influencing your thoughts. So if you want to think about something that's lovely, it's really hard to think about something that's lovely when you're in an environment, when you're full of people that are not talking about those things, or you have a social media feed that is talking about hate, right? If you just don't, if you don't just don't have the right environment for it, it's really hard for you to think about those things. And the opposite is true. If all people are doing is talking about lovely things, if your community of people is talking about growth, your community of people is talking about God, then you're naturally going to start thinking more about those things. That's why community is so important, right? And I also want you to know that yes, it is all these information that you're consuming that is influencing, impacting your thoughts. You also got to know it's not your fault that you're consuming this information. Social media has made it so easy to consume anything. The negative news, right? Every time you turn on TV, it's negative news. Why? Because blood and violence sells. And that's all they care about. So it's not your fault that you are consuming these things, because when you open it up, that's all you have. But I'm gonna tell you, it's 100% your responsibility to eliminate as much as possible, if not all of it, away from your life and start thinking the right way. So how do you do that? How do you do that? There's 3 steps that I did. Very simple 3 steps. I'm going to show you that right now. But before I show you, I want you to know, please, please, please don't slap me when you hear these things. Don't come and be like, really? That's it? Yeah, really, that's it. It really is. It really is that simple. But why why is it so difficult for you to take those actions? Why is it so difficult for you to get through these 3 steps? If you knew these 3 steps already, what's stopping you from taking actions to do the right thing? What is the reason why you can't take another little step to be better, to strive for excellence, to eventually get to the life that you want? No, just ask yourself these questions, because that's where everything lies, right? That's what's stopping us from taking action. That's what, you know, I had the privilege of working with a coach recently, and he asked me these questions, and I knew these questions. That's not like anything new to me, but he asked me these questions, and I was invited to dive deep into those. And I have more tools and all that stuff, but we can dive deep together. But for for this conversation, just think about those questions. What's stopping you from taking these actions? Um, what's the reason that you can't take a simple little step that is going to lead you to a better life? Um, is it uncomfortable? Is it fear? Is it fear of the unknown? Is it fear of what other people might think of you if you start doing these things? Or if you start personal development, is it fear that on the other side you know who that person is going to be? I've experienced all those. I'm gonna tell you, it's all real, and you gotta fight it all. That's the good news. The good news is you gotta fight it all, because after the fight, you're gonna understand how God works. After the fight, you're gonna understand this is why you fought. After the fight, you're gonna know God's got you all the time. Anyways, we can talk about all that stuff later. But today we're gonna get you the 3 steps, simple little steps for you to uh, cleanse your mind, so you can start having these excellent thoughts, praiseworthy thoughts. Okay. So step number one, here's step number one. Take a full inventory of what you're consuming. I mean full inventory of what you're consuming. Right? The first step to any problem is being aware of the problem, being aware of what is going on. To solve anything, you got to know that there is a problem. So take an inventory of what you're consuming. So what are you reading? What are you watching? What TV shows are you enjoying? What are your conversations with people, right? Talk about girls, you get girls. You think about girls. Talk about goals, you think about goals. What kind of conversation are you having? What kind of conversation you're having with people around you, your spouse, what kind of video games are you playing, what kind of magazines are you reading, and this is the most important part. What is on your social media feed? Your Instagram, your TikTok, your Twitter, your Facebook, your Snapchat stories, right? Take a full inventory of everything, right? What is in there? Or some of the people you're following, or do you like their content? Do you really talk about their content? Like, what kind of stuff are you seeing, right? So after you take that full inventory, it might take a bit, but after you take the full inventory, move on to step number two, which this step it's gonna make you practice a little bit of this thing called vision. What vision is basically uh, seeing the future in your mind's eye, right? Seeing the future is it's almost like imagination, but it's not imagination going wild. It's imagination very focused and understand what you want, right, in your future life, in your ideal life. So, simply see in your mind's eye what your ideal life is. Now, after you know your ideal life, after you have experienced what that is, ask yourself these questions. What is the state of being of this version of you who has the perfect life? Is he happy? Is he successful? Is he somebody who doesn't like to waste their time? Is it somebody that think about business, helping other people, serving other people? Is it somebody who serves at church, who pours into other people with their small groups, community groups, neighborhood groups, whatever you call them? Um, what does that person do, right? What is that? What is the state of being? What does that person do? And second, the second question: what would that person be consuming on an everyday basis? So if you yeah, basically if you're like, okay, I'm gonna be a small group leader, you're leader, and you're gonna be leading men with quit drinking, let's say. What kind of things will you be consuming? Will you be watching The Walking Dead? Probably not, right? Will you be watching rom-coms that has parties all the time? Probably not, right? It's gonna that doesn't help other people to uh, get you to a better leader. It doesn't help you with temptations, right? If you're dealing with issues with sexual immorality, pornography, are you going to go and grab a Playboy magazine? You're going to consume that? No, in your future self, if your ideal self is getting rid of everything that is stopping you from breaking that bondage, are you going to grab a Playboy magazine? Are you going to follow some OnlyFans models on Instagram? No, obviously not, right? So, and if you're a business owner, if you see yourself as a $10 million a year business owner, are you going to waste your time seeing how people talk about socialism, complain about how the system is rigged, or are you gonna consume more of the things that's gonna get you to $10 million a year, which is leadership, sales, marketing, and all that good stuff? So these are the things that you think about, right? So that's step number two. What was the person? What is the state of being of the person that had your perfect life? What would he do, and what would he consume? Right. Step number two, figuring out that. And step number three, simply compare the two. Compare what you're consuming right now and compare the things, the ideal things that you want to consume, right? Compare what you're consuming right now and the ideal things that you want to consume. Cross out the things that you don't want to consume. Cross out the things that it's not what your ideal person would not be consuming. So, um, obviously, if you're watching TV shows about socialism, and your goal is to build businesses inside of a capitalistic world, that's kind of conflicting. Okay. Um, Social media could be probably a bit tricky on this. I'm gonna tell you the way I got my Instagram and TikTok feed to show me what I want, and hope and it will work for you. But hopefully, you find the right people the first time. If not, simply repeat the process a couple of times so you can get the things in your feed that is feeding you instead of taking energy from you. Okay, so first thing is you gotta understand what social media algorithm, what it does. Simply, if you like something, it'll show you more of the things that is similar to the one that you liked. Um, a lot of trial and error essentially inside of the social media algorithm. For example, if you this is for me, right? I think I accidentally liked a post on TikTok where it was somebody doing parkour and he fell like really bad. I think I accidentally liked it, or I might have watched it for too long. And the next day I came back and saw like three of the similar, very similar videos of just people doing parkouring and falling, right? So I'm like, that's interesting. I don't know where I got this from. After I came back, I'm like, oh yeah, I keep watching these things and I keep liking them. Of course, I'm gonna get more of those. So what did I do? I started following people and started following profiles that I want to see in my Instagram, in my TikTok, or in my Twitter feed, right? Simply to do that is the first step. Number two is go like their stuff. The more you're engaged with the things that you want to see, the algorithm is gonna send you more of those similar things, right? So if I want to see more of content about uh, personal development, let's say, I'm gonna go follow a personal development profile. I'm gonna go like some of the posts, and then I'm gonna go comment a few of them. And then every time you see that, every time you see another post that is something that gets you to the next level, gets you towards closer to your goal, you can go like it, you're gonna go comment on it, you can go share it, you do whatever it is. It's engage with the post. If you do it for 15 minutes a day, just doing that in a week, you see like, okay, cool. You're gonna start seeing more of those posts, right? It's the same thing with, yeah, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter will be about the same. I don't use Snapchat, but I would assume it's the same thing. If you follow the right people, engage with them, you're gonna start seeing more of those stuff. Facebook will be the only place that's different because you got to choose who your friends are and what's on your feed. So you can choose that. You can just simply remove the people that's posting garbage that doesn't support you, and add in more people who are posting right things, like the pages that are posting things that's supporting you. It's that simple. It is that simple. Right now, you just got to train the algorithm and repeat the process over and over again. So you continue to see the things that you like. Now, once you take the garbage out, right? Once you take the garbage out that you're consuming, once no garbage is coming in through your eyes, through your ears, through all the senses that's taking it in, you're gonna start eventually thinking about thoughts that are positive, that are where you're consuming, and then you're gonna start spitting it out, right? So it's gonna change the way you speak, the way you move, the way you see things, the way you see life happening for you. It's gonna change it all, right? The reason why I like Philippians 4 or the book of Philippians in general is because Paul is in prison when he's writing this. He's talking about in Philippians 4:13. Everybody knows that verse, right? You can do all things. You can do all things for Christ Jesus that strengthen them. That's not the right verse. Let me just read it. I can do all things through him who gave me strength. Through him who gave me strength. I can do all things through him who gave me strength. And that's from somebody who's in prison. Not many people in prison think like this. And definitely not many people that can put in prison for the things that they didn't do and it's not illegal and they're still thinking of this. He's praising, he's singing hymns. And that's not what you do when you just get into prison, right? So something about what Paul does here is so mind blowing to me, right? And he talks about the thoughts of excellence and praiseworthy, and that's the things that we should be thinking. He's in prison. Those are his thoughts. He must have consumed something that is very, very powerful, impactful, and it's inside of his heart, right? Because the Bible tells us the life flows from our hearts. The life flows from the heart, right? So in his heart, that's ingrained in there. And then he's now through his heart, he's giving it to us, right? But how do we ingrain something in the heart? It's not a hot iron and just ingrain it right on the heart, right? And just hot iron. Um, but it's through everyday practice, everyday exercise, doing the things that we need to do every single day, having discipline to do it, right? That's how we ingrain something into our hearts. Let me tell you straight up. I When I was younger, I was pessimistic as an electron. I'm a nerd right now. Don't mind me. Electrons are negative. I'm about as negative as an electron. Now, I can still be negative. Yes, absolutely. There's times when I'm negative, but there's more often than not, I'm the optimistic person. I feel the blessings coming from God instead of just looking at God as like, why is there no blessings? There's blessings everywhere in my life. But I don't have everything that I want doesn't mean there's no blessings. So, in order for us to ingrain those things in our hearts, in order for us to live out to Philippians 4:8, where it says, the thoughts, whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, anything that's excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things. That takes practice. That takes a lot of consuming the right things before we can start thinking of it. That takes a whole change of environment before we can speak that out. So I want to encourage you today. These are the 3 steps that there, right? Make an inventory of everything that you're consuming. In your mind's eye, envision the perfect ideal life that you have and who that person is, what that person will be doing, and what that person will be consuming. And number 3, simply eliminate everything that you're consuming right now that the perfect ideal version of you will not be consuming. Obviously, you're not perfect. You can't eliminate everything at all times and just be done with it. But what you can do is do all that you can. Take responsibility and do all that you can to eliminate as much garbage as possible. Because in this information age, there's a lot of garbage out there. Eliminate that, and you have the excellent and admirable and praiseworthy thoughts. And that's how you change your mindset from whatever you are to the mindset of excellence. And that's Cleo. That's the end of my video. Cleo is whining. So thank you all for watching. If you like it, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I love to hear some feedback. So let me know in the comments what are some of the things that you learned from this video. What are some of the things that you liked from this video, and let me know how I can improve as well. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, peace.